it hits me like an earthquake that we've made it. We've made it to a time when there's actually so much Blackpink solo content to consume and hopefully enjoy. We have already discussed Lisa, Jennie, and Rosé, so it is time to talk about the very much busy and active lately, Jisoo. I assume that you have seen my previous Blackpink solo videos, so you may know that this video's focus is on singing and the technical vocal analysis. However, you will find my more personal, subjective thoughts on Jisoo's solo project and era towards the end. Naturally, this video is split into sections. 가자! As one of the group's lead vocalists, Jisoo is believed by many fans to be quite a misused idol. In my opinion, the line distribution itself is far less problematic than the parts themselves that are given to her. The real issue is that Jisoo's treatment as a vocalist in Blackpink doesn't allow her best qualities to shine and forces her to share the same range and melodies with Rosé. Some exclusions do apply, but in general, Blackpink's producers tend to treat Jisoo and Rosé as sort of equals without really acknowledging their differences. Rosé, whose voice is not only higher, but who's also a pretty notably more technically skilled vocalist than Jisoo, handles these parts better. I also find it criminal that not once have we heard Jisoo and Rosé harmonize together on a Blackpink song. Congratulations, YG, but I digress. Taking a fair look at the vocal skills of Jisoo, we can point out both strengths and weaknesses. Let's start with the good. Undoubtedly, Jisoo's sweet spot lies in her lower to mid-range. It is where her voice sounds the most comfortable and the most relaxed. Her placement here is usually naturally forward. She can keep a nice even airflow and solid tonality. While the quality of control and support could have been notably improved, it remains an area of great potential and a safe zone for Jisoo. Another strength to note is pitch accuracy. Jisoo seems to have a naturally good musical ear, which gives her a solid intonation, meaning the accuracy of pitch while singing.
Take us to the star, go back to the star.
If you pay attention, you will seldom catch Jisoo sing off pitch. Even when there is strain present, she still will be able to reach the right notes in terms of pitch. Off-key moments happen sporadically and most likely when she's singing out of her natural comfort zone. Intonation can often be something that vocalists who are relative to Jisoo in skill, sometimes even those who are technically stronger than her, struggle with, so that is a win on Jisoo's part. I believe that her pitch accuracy, along with a good deal of stamina on stage, is why Jisoo is praised by fans for being stable. Although still still somewhat underutilized and not fully explored. Head voice and falsetto are tools that Jisoo uses with relative ease and confidence.
Girl in the world you see, it doesn't matter.
Her upper register can range from a softer, airier sound to a bit more full and connected. What's more, Jisoo offers a certain degree of dynamics control, understanding of legato, and minimal occasional vibrato. So when it comes to Jisoo's weaknesses, truthfully, there are plenty. The most evident one is that her mix register is plagued by various technical issues, from painfully raised larynx and a few types of tension, jaw tension, tongue tension, glottal tension, to an overly heavy chesty mix. These problems appear early into her range, and they all manifest in strained, constricted, tense belts, with power being swapped for pain. Jisoo isn't afraid of using a good amount of air during belting, yet with the amount of tension, there's no way for her to belt healthily. Yes, a Jisoo biased fan is gonna be able to find some stronger, more relaxed moments. But those are the minority. Another big issue is the excessive nasality. To overcompensate for the amount of pressure and tension, Jisoo seems to somewhat intuitively place her voice around the nose in an attempt to make singing a bit easier for herself, especially when reaching a bit higher notes. This strategy is, however, not only pretty unpleasant to ear, but it also prevents good openness and constricts the sound. Her strengths could also be developed far more. Both her lower range as well as her head voice could become wonderful assets for a vocalist to have, but they need more work. These weaknesses are all signs or symptoms, you could say, of a generally untrained vocalist. Similarly to Jennie, without a solid enough technical foundation, Jisoo is an intuition-based vocalist, not really an intentional technique-based one. Pretty much for every area of true promising potential, it seems like there's a technical issue that limits her voice. So correcting unhealthy habits while taking a few steps back to build a foundation of good vocal cords connection, strong breath support, healthy vibrato, and more would help Jisoo become a vocalist of a higher caliber. Out of Lisa, Jennie, and Jisoo, I believe it would be Jisoo to experience the quickest and most spectacular results from a good vocal training. I think Jisoo enjoys singing. I think there are things to praise her for as a vocalist. And needless to say, Jisoo has potential. The question is, how serious is she willing to take it? So how does the new solo material translate to live setting, you ask? Well, let's find out, especially since Jisoo has promoted Earthquake twice in music shows and is even on tour across Asia. Starting with the 2 music show performances, I think Jisoo's energy truly shines. She seems really confident and enthusiastic about presenting this new material, which is awesome to see. Now, of course, we need to mention the singing aspect. I must admit that right off the bat, I personally expected Jisoo to sing live. And watching these 2 performances, I have been convinced that, yeah, she was singing live. But now that I went back to it, I think I was wrong. I stacked these 2 performances on top of each other and they match perfectly to a T, which would never be the case with live vocals. So, pre-recorded vocals. From what I can hear, however, I don't think the vocal track itself has been pitch corrected, so that's why it sounds realistic and natural. Perhaps she wanted to focus on the stage presence aspects without having to multitask and sing live. I don't know, maybe a slight letdown, but nothing too crazy. The performances were enjoyable nonetheless. Moving on to the Lights Love Action Tour, which by the way at the time I am making this video is still not finished. Despite a short setlist, the show is actually far from minimalistic, with fully choreographed performances, dancers, background visuals, and the overall production value. This time, Jisoo is definitely singing live. Her voice can be heard best during sound checks in my opinion. However, she is singing during the rest of the concert, albeit with the help of a backing track. The backing track itself I find a little tricky though, since its volume kind of varies from a song to song and even between shows, I think. Basically, there are moments where you can hear Jisoo very clearly. There are times when you have to more actively look for her voice. Regardless, the use of a backing track doesn't take away from the effort and work put into singing during each show. As far as the quality of Jisoo's singing goes, the voice seems quite rested and in a good condition. Technically speaking, I don't hear any notable changes, so things I've mentioned in the vocal technique section still do apply. Jisoo, however, I believe is doing her best with what she's got. Putting the more strictly technical discussion aside, as a fan, I am very much proud of Jisoo. I've seen her passion and dedication to music and the art of performing for as long as I can remember being a fan of Blackpink. Admittedly, my expectations regarding a solo musical project were not much. So imagine what an absolute delight Amortage has been. A cohesive mini album with a high quality production and a slick sound that's familiar yet somehow fresh and revitalizing. All 4 songs have personality and something unique to them. Co-written by Jisoo herself, put the now borderline embarrassing previous solo singles to shame. Armitage may be more of a delicious appetizer than a full meal, but I personally am glad that she wasn't pressured to release a full album just for the sake of it. More than ever, Jisoo radiates with an organic, calm confidence that is more about showing rather than telling. To see Jisoo do things in her own way is what a fan like me truly needed. And that, you guys, is all I have for you in this one. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please let me know what you think about all of this. That was fun. I will see you in my next one. For now, bye guys. Don't need your hugs and kisses. Hugs and kisses will make a difference, 'cause you did me dirty, so malicious.